Talk Bowling, episode 115. I'm Dustin Seymour.
I'm Tony Rucco. Talk Bowling is proud to bring you the latest information from the bowling industry, bowling tips, and updates on the largest internet bowling website, bowlingballcom. All right.
Lots of questions today.
If Dustin looks like he just got done crying, it's because we had some funny outtakes. So
I might have to put that.
You may have to put those at the end.
Yeah,
he got really formal on us. But anyway, we're going to go through, we have a bunch of questions today. So keep firing questions in and we'll keep giving you more content every episode. So first question is from Twitter. At Jason_Corn asked, why am I consistently missing my target to the right?
That's a tough question to answer without seeing someone bowl, but there's a lot of reasons why that might be happening. One would be that your shoulders you're not closing your shoulders before you release. Your shoulders are too open, so you need to keep your shoulders more square to the line. And
I always, you can also try and keep your shoulders square to the break point that you're looking for, down lane. It may help a little bit.
Helpful,
yeah, because if you're trying to move them too much when you're getting to the foul line, if your timing's not just right, you'll notice a lot of pros you don't see shoulders opening and closing during the approach. They're set to their target line or their break point. Everyone does it a little different, but you can try getting them set to where they need to be and leaving them there.
I heard a really cool tip not too long ago that kind of clicked in my head, and they said to swing your arm from the base of your neck, not from your shoulder. And that will naturally open your shoulders a little bit without thinking about opening.
You see it if you watch the pros, if you ever slow it down and watch them, there is some opening in their arm swing. A lot of guys now, the newer power players especially, they're opening as they're coming back, but they're able to get their shoulders back to where they need to be at the foul line.
They're not pulling their shoulder back, that's just what they do naturally.
Their body's just doing it, so that's a good tip.
Another reason could be your swing path alignment. So you really want the ball to swing your arm. A lot of people will pull the ball and it'll come behind their body. That will get your swing out of alignment.
Yeah.
Could cause you to pull.
Ideally, you're not looking for the ball to come behind your body or swing away from your body. You're kind of wanting that to be in just a nice pendulum back and forth.
Right. Also, you could be walking in that direction and your entire body is angled to the right, and you're just not hitting where you want to hit. So square up to your break point, like Tony said. And for me, I'm right-handed and I'm left eye dominant. So if you're right-handed, left eye dominant, or left-handed, right eye dominant, I miss to the right 2 boards no matter what.
Naturally.
So I have to aim 2 boards inside of where I want to hit in order for me to hit my target.
I just learned that today.
Yeah,
I'm right eye dominant.
You can Google it, but there are ways to find out if you're right or left eye dominant. And that'll really help you as far as to know, because most right-handed people are right eye dominant.
Right.
So your right eye is closer to the target.
Yeah.
If you're left eye dominant, your line of sight.
You're like a mutant.
Kind of. Yeah. I almost had one less eyeball, so maybe one day we'll tell.
If that was like an X-Men power.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
So. You're done. All right, so good question, and hopefully those help.
Next one, question from YouTube. Tony, why is it that in some balls you use finger inserts, but in some balls you don't? Is there a reason? That's from Greg Kahn.
Yeah, my ball driller would probably ask the same question too, because I drive him nuts out in the warehouse when he's drilling my stuff. I change my grip over time. If you go back through our ball videos where you see pictures of my bowling balls, all the way back from when we started doing this, you'll see I've been much longer than I am now. I've had grips, I've had no grips, I've had men's grips, I have missed quad grips, sarge Easter grip. I go all over the place. I'm kind of a big feel guy, so if I get to a point where the ball just doesn't feel good in my hand, I change something. Whether it be from grips to no grips or back to men's size grips, which have more rubber in between my finger and the ball. I can't explain it. I've always been that way. I'll change my span, I'll change my pitches. I don't bowl as much as I used to bowl, so there's longer gaps between us going and shooting videos or me doing ball testing. And sometimes I'll just put my hand in the ball before we start to drill new balls and some doesn't feel right. So I'll change it up. I do currently, and I've been pretty consistent with missed quad grips from Turbo because the wall is thinner.
It's really female.
I did,
Tails.
yes, I do, actually. But anyway.
They're very nice.
So I use those because I get kind of an in-between feel. It's kind of closer to no grips, but it's still softer than no grips. So that's where I'm at now. I've been there for a while since I came back from a Sarge Easter grip. So anyway, I'm just a big advocate for how it feels in your hand needs to be comfortable to you, and that could change between video shoots for us. So anyway, feel free to try it. If you start a ball off with no grips, just a quick tip if you don't know, if you have your ball driller drill the ball with no finger inserts, it's really easy to put grips in after the fact. So if you want to try it, have him drill the bridge just a little wider. It won't really change the feel all that much for you, and throw it a little bit. If you don't like it, take it back in. They can put grips in it.
If you try it, it does take a little getting used to if you've never done it
Yeah,
before.
it's much
harder
different.
on your hand,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have a little finger soreness. But just getting the right amount of bevel,
Yeah.
the right sizing, where
Exactly.
you like the tape.
Yeah, there's a big. It's just I've been all over the place. I've had
I
a
don't use
grip.
grips. I'm not a fan of grips.
Yeah, I've had a grip in my ring finger and not my middle finger. My middle
Yeah.
finger, not my ring finger. I've been all
A
over
lot of
the
people
place.
are doing that now. Grip
Yeah.
in the middle, but not in the ring.
Yeah. So anyway, I just like to try different things, and a lot of times just because I'm picky and I like the way it feels. So good question.
Great answer, Tony.
Look for a new grip next time.
Yeah. It's gonna be the reverse Sarge Easter.
Maybe I won't put holes in the ball
Conventional
at
metal.
all. I couldn't do that. I hurt myself.
All right, we had a question from YouTube. Why don't companies do re-releases of classic balls that were and still are so popular years later?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We get that question all the time at bowlingballcom with our customer service department. And Dustin's answer, I mean, we'll bounce back and forth, but basically, Brunswick is the only one right now that is officially calling it a vintage series. Once a year, they're releasing a vintage ball. I don't know the criteria for how they pick it. I don't know if it's availability of materials, if it goes by some type of ball sales data that they had from years ago, but they've released balls like the Johnny Petragula vintage LT48, the vintage Gold Rhino Pro, and the vintage Danger Zone just came out. It's down here. It is availability of materials, I think. I talked to Brunswick about what would the next vintage ball be, and it just kind of depends on what they have access to.
Yeah.
They were using different suppliers back then, I believe, for
Yeah.
materials, and a lot of companies may have been. I mean, we don't. The suppliers change. You're talking about balls from 20 plus years ago. Methods of pouring cores and cover stocks, all that's changed. I forgot about the Ebonite re-releases that you mentioned in here too. I didn't realize those were straight re-releases, like remakes, as close as they could get. Yeah.
A lot of times, even the vintage series, like the core is not exactly the same.
Right.
But they design it to where it will react for today's conditions as closely to what that ball would have been back in the day. So.
Yeah, and you made a good point there about that. If you want to go into that, because that's a great reason.
There's reason, he said availability, but if they were to re-release a ball exactly as it was, say, in the 90s, you had a Piranha. Well, if they re-released the Piranha exactly the same today, it's not going to do what it did in the 90s. Lane oils, lane surfaces, the conditions, they've changed so much that if they were to re-release a ball, it has to be updated.
Yeah, you kind of have to tweak it a little bit, and we run into it. People will tell us, they want us to make a urethane ball, for example, which I'm not against. There's a few on the market, but you also have to remember when a company makes a bowling ball, they have to be ready to sell a certain number of units. And if it's so specialized or so specific to a certain ball motion, it may not sell that many units, and then they're stuck with bowling balls. So they have to protect themselves a little bit too. So I think you're going to see more coming forward, though, because the vintage line has done really well for Brunswick.
Yeah,
so
and
I don't.
they just did the Rhino line again, which
Yeah,
is
which
not
is just
the
a
same,
name,
but
yeah.
It's just a name, but it's still.
But I think you may see it from other companies. They use cores and cover stocks are used all the time, though. So pay attention if you have a ball you really like. Pay attention to that core or that cover stock name, and look at some of the new releases because they're all over the place.
Yeah, they reuse stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So, and especially cover stocks. Like if you like to cover,
Yeah.
that's the majority of what
And
a ball does.
we were actually talking about it yesterday. when we had a little staff meeting, and there's only so much we can do with cores and cover stocks now. USBC has regulations on your RGs and your diffs, on your cover stock, surface roughness. So there's not a lot that we can do. I mean, we can make new shapes and try and get better with keeping holes from hitting the core as much as they do. But overall numbers, we're pretty locked in. So when you see Hammer or so using a gas mask core, it's not because they're lazy, it's because there's really no other way to improve on that core.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's just a really good core, and they'll mix up the cover stock with it, and we do that a lot. In Pyramid, you'll see us use the same core, but we'll mix up cover stocks or surface preps. So there's not a lot of options out there. So
yeah. If you find a core that's good,
it's gonna be good.
Storm's been using the one in the high road, a variation of it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's really good stuff.
All right, good question, whoever you are.
Got some upcoming product releases. June 7th, Storm Snap Lock and Rocket Ship. June 8th, 2 colors of the Motive Freestyle, black and blue, black and pink. And June 21st, the Rotogrip Hustle. There's 2 different hybrids, and they do different things. One's purple, raspberry, and orange. One's silver, aqua, yellow. They're not the same. They do have different reactions.
I haven't read the
Now you know.
the release. Now I know. Yeah. Look for the Storm Snap Lock and Rocket Ship. I believe we're shooting that video next week, so that video should be up later part of next week. Yeah, I was gonna tell him. So, and maybe I'll have a grip change.
I hope so.
Just for what's his name?
Just for people that watch this video.
Exactly. Yes. All right, contest. Hit us.
We give a bowling ball away each week on bowlingball.com. All you have to do is click the 52 weeks, 52 winners image on the right side of the page. You do have to register every week.
Right.
It does reset, so make sure you sign up every week. The odds are, who else gives a bowling ball away every week?
I don't know, and we give away multiple ones because
multiple.
Bowling Boards gives away a bowling ball each week as well. If you head over to bowlingboards.com, register, and make at least 1 post per week to be entered. Again, that resets every week, so keep coming back. It's a cool little community, so you can make posts, I'm sure, every week.
Same thing with Pyramid Bowling. Go onto their Facebook page, facebook.com/Pyramid Bowling, and all you have to do is comment on the post that's pinned to the top for this week's contest, and you're entered. Odds are really good on that page, so head on over.
All right, and if you have a question for us, you can email us at questions@talkbowling.com. On Facebook, we are facebook.com/talkbowling. Twitter @talkbowling, or you can leave a comment on talkbowling.com on any episode.
Absolutely. So last week's question of the week: who was the first left-handed player to win a national PBA tournament? And the answer was Roy Lown from El Paso, Texas.
Did anyone get that right?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, if you got it, congratulations. I don't even know who that is.
I don't either. I've never heard of him. And
It was in like 1930 something.
I don't know.
when
I really don't know.
All right. Well, this week's question of the week
Is the same one.
The
So
same
I
question.
actually remember another one that I had planned to do in the future. So,
This is why we have notes.
what was the name of the bowling alley that Mark Roth learned to bowl in?
All right.
We'll use that.
I think he just made that
I didn't, but if I did, I'm gonna find out.
up. I'm pretty sure he just made that
No,
up.
I did. I really did.
Do we have anything else,
I
Dustin?
think that's
Seymour?
it.
No.
I think that
We're good. Okay.
Mi nombre es.
In closing, please remember that bowlingball.com is free shipping on every item every day. No hidden handling fees, no packaging fees, not patching. No added insurance fees, no minimum purchase. The price shown is the price you pay at checkout. Bowlingball.com, it's where bowlers go.
Episode 115. We out.
Thank you.
Welcome to Talk Bowling, episode number 115. My name is Dustin.
Number 115, my name is Dustin Seymour. Should I give you a name tag?